The issue at hand for us was that you're hearing a lot about in newspapers, and particularly a couple of years ago, you were hearing a lot about was inclusion in the construction industry on public projects from the minority community and actually women, built out as women. There was a big push. The community groups outside of us were rallying together, putting pressure on MN Dept and other public agencies to have more inclusion. There's goals on public projects where there's supposed to be a certain percentage of people on that job that are either from the female or minority community. And for a long time, the goals were not being met at all. And for a long time, nobody really was doing anything about it. So this built up frustration over the years from the community groups that pay taxes, and they justifiably want the jobs in their communities to reflect their community. From our perspective on this issue, our apprenticeship programs have women and minority requirements already in it, and we meet those goals. And forever, our union policy has been, we absolutely don't have an exclusionary policy. The problem was, how do you take somebody that grows up in a city like I did and get them into a piece of equipment when they have no experience with it at all? I mean, typically we get folks from the farm because they grow up around pieces. But our perspective was, you can't put people on jobs right now that aren't trained. They can't do the job safely, and that will end up hurting themselves or other people and not doing a very good job. And not to mention the fact, if you throw somebody out there on a job site that isn't trained, they're not going to stick around very long. They're not just getting them into an apprenticeship program, our apprenticeship program, where they learn the skills to succeed in that job, and I see them at the retirement dinner in 30 years. That's what I want. So we had to change the conversation. Our contractors were looking for skilled, qualified female minority candidates, and we have this need to provide them. But also we have the need, our members are retiring at a faster rate than ever. We need the next generation of operating engineers to come. We're looking for that next generation, and we're going to need to look beyond the farms, beyond the traditional areas that they usually come from. So we had a need, they had a desire, we just needed to come together, and before a couple of years ago, nobody was talking. So MN Dept put together this collaborative group. It got all the stakeholders around the table, and that's where we met Summit Academy, and that's where I met Liz King. And we just started talking. So we came together, we created a partnership that, to our knowledge, is the first of its kind in the country, where a union and a community group are doing pre-apprentice training. We are training folks that we have no guarantee that are going to be in our union, and we're doing that on our dime. That's, a pretty bold step, and it took a lot of education from our members to get there, because a lot of them are like, why are you training people that could potentially end up being non-union competitors, right? I mean, there's a lot of issues there. It took a lot of courage on my business manager's part, Glenn Johnson, to do that. So we came together, created this pre-apprentice training program. It's 20 weeks. We helped them design the curriculum at Summit. The first 15 weeks are at Summit. Students sign up through them. Most of the students are from North Minneapolis. They spent 15 weeks there getting the basics in construction. They do, once they get past 10 weeks, they do 5 weeks of intensive heavy equipment simulation and training. And then our part of it comes in when the last 5 weeks, these students make a commitment to go to Hinckley, Minnesota, which is about an hour from here in North, where we have our 400-acre training facility. They go there, they get on a bus Monday morning, early, like 5, and they go up to Hinckley, and they stay there the entire week, away from their family, away from their friends, and that's a commitment that they need to make. Because one of the reasons we did that is because that's a reality of the industry. Our folks travel. So they go up there for 5 weeks, and they get on the real deal. We have 400 acres, we have 50, 60 pieces of equipment, ranging from cranes, to bobcats, to sweepers, we got everything. They learn how to operate real equipment in those 5 weeks, and they get some real hands-on experience that they can't get anywhere else. So by the time they're done with this 20 weeks, they have certifications that they're going to need to get on job sites, so we do that there as well. They have credits towards their apprenticeship program once they get in. They have real seat time experience, and they've learned how to be around equipment safely, how to maintain the equipment, And we feel like there have some, it's not perfect, they're not experts when they come out of this 20-week training, but they have a chance, and it gives them the background to go out there and make it on their own, which a lot of them have. We've trained 40 people in the last 2 years, and 30 of them are working in the industry and in our apprenticeship round. So it's working, and that's what needs to happen in the future to really fix this situation and really get more people into the construction trades is the background necessary and the training and the pre-apprentice work is critical. And that's what we're focusing on. And what's also been cool from this relationship is not only did we come together to kind of address this particular problem for operating engineers and for Summit Academy, but we're working together on other things. When Lewis and I walk into a room at MN, we get things done because we're together. Now they have a stake in the game. They want their folks to have good paying jobs. They want their folks to have apprenticeship programs. They're supporting us in those things now. Because it's not, they've gone from, we want somebody on a job to, wait, what kind of job? What kind of opportunity? Is there, we want apprenticeship programs, we want prevailing wage, we want health care. Now that's what it's about. And that's what the power of a community collaboration can be. When we've changed, they've changed, and we've come together to really make some change that needed to happen, and we did it in a very powerful way. So we're very proud of our program, and we think it's a good example. And since then, other trades, the laborers in the Urban League now have a partnership, the cement masons now have a partnership with Summit, the electricians now have a partnership with Summit, the Teamsters, I think, have something going with Summit. It's now starting to mushroom. So that's our story.